Nobody be nervous. Good evening, and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. No, you're not seeing things. We do have Cathy DeMarco back and Mark Sheehan, and this evening they're wearing their Connecticut Coalition for Animals hats. We also have a very special guest, and that is little Boomer. Boomer. Boomer, who is being such a good boy.
Yes, he is.
So good.
He is a former Waterbury pound pup. And I just still don't get it. Boomer was adopted and returned the very next day because he sheds. Well, I say get over that. Mark,
so
now,
does he.
Yeah.
Actually,
it worked out really well for Boomer, and it worked out really well for Mark, because Mark pulled him from the pound to foster him, and we are proud to report failure.
Failure.
Because
another failed foster for me.
Yep. Boomer has now found his forever home, and he is in wonderful and loving hands, and I couldn't be happier.
He decided he didn't want to go anywhere.
It was all
had
his
nothing
decision.
to do with me.
No, it was all his decision.
Yes.
It was, he just, he planted his feet, and he said, I'm not leaving.
Can you look at this dog and say, this dog couldn't possibly shed. I'm going to take him home.
Yeah.
And then be surprised when he does.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that, but...
I mean, that's where I say get, like, a wire brush and a pair of scissors and get over yourself. Give him a bath,
I think it was just meant to be.
He's a great dog.
Well, sometimes things are. And we see this from time to time where, somebody gets a dog home and has some kind of really lame excuse. There's like no forgiveness. I'm sorry, not in my heart for stuff like that. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if either of you saw it, I wrote a column today in my Examiner.com column.
I haven't seen it yet.
And it was about taking a dog home from the pound or from a shelter, and what to expect. And,
oh, good. That's good.
It's actually called Adopt with Your head, not just your heart.
That's right. That's excellent.
Fortunately, Boomer found somebody's heart. Look at him.
He so did.
Look at him.
He's
because
so
he sheds.
comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Anyway, so
hi.
Connecticut Coalition for Animals. Hi. Tell us.
Change your hat.
Yeah, change your hat. Tell us all about.
I'd love to.
The coalition.
Yes, the Connecticut Coalition for Animals actually began. Let's see. Poppy would know. Poppy is Mark's
2009.
2009.
2009.
See, I knew. I did homework. Anyway.
Yeah, it would be the spring of 2009, and we originally were called the Coalition for Change. We changed our name because we expanded our mission, and the Coalition for Change doesn't have the word animals in it, so a lot of people back then, a small group of what we began as, of course, knew. But we began as the group responsible for the recent reforms at Connecticut's oldest, largest, and wealthiest shelter, the Connecticut Humane Society. So we were responsible for many of the recent changes there. And so again, we started as the Coalition for Change because we were looking to, elicit changes at that one particular place. Since then, we got involved with a bunch of different things, sort of inadvertently, without meaning to. We accidentally...
Sometimes the best things happen that way.
Well, exactly. We accidentally sort of got involved with the rescue of 16 dogs and puppies. We sort of accidentally got involved with helping a woman in Manchester with many, many cats inside and outside. Sort of a hoarding situation, but a lot of it not her fault because people were dumping cats in a cemetery near there.
A lot of times people know, oh, somebody's feeding them, so here, I'll just,
What's one
drop
more?
it there.
What's 10 more?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we sort
What's
of
10 more?
Right, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But so again, without really meaning to, we sort of got involved in some different things, and it spun into some changes for our group. So again, we changed the name from the Coalition for Change to Connecticut Coalition for Animals. We are in the process of getting the 501c3. We're not technically a nonprofit yet. We have submitted our paperwork to the IRS, so we're waiting for IRS certification, hopefully coming in the next few months, to grant us the official 501c3 status from the IRS. But in the meantime, the coalition has really expanded. with a very, very small group of very dedicated, Mark is one of our...
Very small group.
Exactly, too small, but...
Like 1 and 2?
Well, there's actually 4 on the executive committee. Mark is our treasurer, and he's also a very knowledgeable dog trainer. He's sort of our in-house dog whisperer. He had many, many years as a volunteer.
Can you get Boomer not to shed?
Yeah. I don't
sorry.
think he can do that, but other than that, he can
Taught
do
Boomer
almost
a lot, but I can't teach him not to shed. No.
But Mark is one of our, officials or officers for the coalition, and we've sort of spun off into a bunch of things that we're doing, again, with just 4 of us, and some other volunteers too, like Cathy Brainerd and some other people who help us out.
Kathy, who's getting good at hiding in the corner.
Yeah, Kathy's hiding in the corner with Boomer because he jumped off the couch. But so we have these people who are helping us try to do some things like helping different rescue groups with adoptions and getting the word out, like you do all the time too, Theo.
Getting involved accidentally.
Right.
Inadvertently.
Yeah, exactly. Like you didn't really plan on that, and whatever.
When my phone rings at night.
Yeah, and all hours and whatnot. But and trying to help people get the word out if there's an animal in need, cat or dog, even rabbits and whatever we help with. Trying to help communicate and sort of coordinate different things with different individuals and other rescue groups, trying to share information and ideas.
And that's important.
It's so important. It's so important.
Because there's so many knowledgeable people, I find,
absolutely.
and they all have their niche.
Right.
You know, and there's so much resource.
Absolutely.
You know, if you have this question, you go to this person.
Exactly.
If you have that question, you go to that group.
Exactly.
And it's so nice to think
and
that we could encourage people to work together.
Absolutely.
That's part of our mission.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting for the same,
The same outcome.
Right.
Yeah, and rather than everybody working independently, let's just work together. We don't have a shelter. We don't have a facility of our own. So when we do adoption events, we call up other rescues and say, do you have an animal you want us to show?
Sure. How many times have I said, yeah, talk to Mark,
Exactly.
talk
You've
to
sent
Mark.
me people.
Right.
And that's the important part, is we want to make sure that everybody knows that it's not about us. It's about the animals.
Right. Absolutely.
It's helping them. They are the bottom line. So it doesn't matter
Amen.
who's getting credit for anything.
That's right.
Let's
Yeah,
just
it's totally not
find
about the credit.
right.
That's right.
Find
If-
that animal a home.
If you're in it to grab glory by the throat, you're in it
You're in
for
it
the
for the
wrong reason.
Wrong reasons,
Be a
right.
politician.
It's
Right.
totally all about the animals
Right, absolutely.
and nothing but.
Right.
It's not
Absolutely.
egos. It's not,
Right.
that was my save, that was
Right.
my rescue,
Right.
or I wanted to help that dog.
Right.
No.
Absolutely. Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And the truth is, Theo, and I know you know this, but it's usually numerous people involved in the actual rescuing of
Yeah.
something, whether it's for who does the initial pulling, who
Right.
does the spay, neuter, and vaccines,
Right.
who takes it from there, who's the temporary foster, who's the long-term
Yeah.
foster,
Like I
who's
say,
the
it
final
takes
adopter.
a village.
Right, it takes a whole bunch of people.
How many nights I can tell you
Hey,
that
boom, boom, come on.
I've sat at my computer, literally, I get a phone call, I start posting stuff on
Good boy.
Facebook, somebody responds, somebody goes to grab the dog, somebody offers to take it.
Right, right.
It ends up being
A bunch of
I
people.
feel like mission control.
Right, it's a bunch of people.
Because I'm, all right, this one just posted this and this one just posted
Right.
that, and I'm like orchestrating things from my computer.
A bunch.
The
But
social media has helped
it's-
because
oh,
you just have to
yes.
click
Right.
share, and you may have saved a life.
Oh,
Right,
absolutely.
right.
I mean,
a
literally,
great way
the
of
first thing I
put
do
it.
when I get that phone call
Right.
is
Exactly.
I run to the computer, and if I'm not home, I'm like, okay, it's my phone now.
It's too tiny for me.
Yeah, but
You look so sad.
it's truly everybody working together.
Absolutely, and it does take quite a few people to, orchestrate. Anybody to orchestrate this and get something accomplished. But, and Mark's right. We do have, a lot of things going on. Without a technical or official shelter, we have been able to use a spot in Berlin. We've basically been servicing like the greater New Britain area. So a lot of our activity is in central Connecticut, New Britain, Berlin, whatever, being
Easily accessible.
easily accessible. And now that I'm at Hope Clinic, that's helped widen. I think I'm here somewhat
Sure.
because of your connection with Mark and being at Hope Clinic. So it's sort of funny, and I know those of us in rescue and that have been doing this for a while know how actually small the rescue world is, and
yeah.
the rescue community is. But we were lucky enough that we were able to use a building in Berlin, as well as some other local areas in the central Connecticut area, who allowed us to use their their spots or their spaces for adoption events, for rescue, to collect and distribute food. So we do have a little pet food pantry that we also house the food in the building that we're using in Berlin. So we do collect and distribute food for that. Which is he a doll? He's such a good boy.
I'm like, you keep talking.
Oh, no, it's fine. But anyway, so we do that. We were lucky without having an actual facility that we got to do a lot of this. So if anybody wants more information, I'd like to mention this a couple times throughout tonight's show, please go to our website, which is www.ctforanimals.org. That's ctforanimals.org.
And I have to tell you, I went on the site today.
Oh, isn't it cool?
It is very cool,
It's
and I
a cool
signed up for
site.
the email list.
Oh, good.
Yep, so, you know, I try to practice
Right.
what I preach.
Right.
It's not
And we-
always easy.
And the website is a volunteer that
Grace.
Grace has been
Grace
so
Sullivan.
volunteering with her time to.
Grace made an amazing, we had a great website that our secretary Maureen Lord began, and then we got a volunteer, Grace, who is just amazing and really kicked it up a notch. So it's a lovely website.
Makes us look real good.
Yeah, it does.
Probably better than we really are. But
And the photos that are on there are animals that we've helped get adopted, so
Yeah.
it's not just a random picture off the internet.
Right.
It's something that means something to us, so
Yeah.
it really puts the personal edge on it.
Yeah.
Shorty Pants is on there, Smudge is on. There's a bunch of animals.
There was
that
the
we
dog with the ball, the red ball.
Oh yeah, I forgot whose dog.
Was that Harry or Tucker?
It might have been one of the. I remember who's got.
What kind
I
of
think
dog?
Shorty has a ball
I don't know, it
too.
was just like all you see is like this face and a ball, and it's like behind the writing. I really wasn't paying attention to what kind of dog.
I don't remember.
Yeah, sure, I went on the website. I really did.
You're probably right, but I don't remember right this minute. But it's a great website.
It is.
And again, done by a volunteer. Again, we're all volunteers. No
And
one,
we all have real jobs too, so
which is hard.
it's
Yeah,
hard to juggle.
And you're all, you know, you're that small organization. You're all volunteers. You're not paid employees, so
No.
you're doing it from your heart.
Right, right.
You know, and that means a lot.
Right, and competing, you know, with bigger groups who are sort of in the public eye a lot, and we certainly aren't because we just don't have the resources to do that, to advertise or do anything like that.
Right.
But, you know, and it's not just our group. You know, I want to speak for all of the small groups because there's many, many, many small groups in the state of Connecticut. Someone told me, and I don't know if this is true, that Connecticut has the most animal nonprofit groups in the country.
Really.
Wow.
Again, I don't know if that's true, but that's what someone told me. And sometimes it feels that way because there's so many different. Sometimes it's one person. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
you know, two people. But there's many, many small groups. So yes, we are here to talk about the coalition. But our dream is to honestly, for real, not kidding, like share with other groups, share information, share ideas, share a facility if someday we're lucky enough to have one. We can talk about that in a minute. But like, you know, our pet food pantry, we distribute it to people who are doing TNR, trap, neuter, and return, to people who can't buy food, private individuals who can't buy food for their dogs or cats anymore. So we do try to help a lot of people, nowhere near enough because we're so small, but
Right.
we do hope to
But
grow.
I'm sure that the individuals that are depending on your help, it's the difference between having to surrender a pet because they just truly can't afford
Right.
That just happened this
And-
week. We got a
and-
call from somebody who was going to have to surrender 2 dogs, and it was breaking his heart. And through Facebook, you know, I get a message saying, "Can you guys spare any food?" I sent them 10 bags of food, which will last them a couple months. He's got 2 small dogs. He'll
Oh
be
yeah,
set
little
until
dogs,
he
you know, I
lost
always
his
say
job.
the little ones,
Yeah.
what's one
Yeah.
more mouth to feed?
Exactly.
Right.
When you know,
You know how it can
yeah. Oh, in my house, my dogs eat first.
be. Right, right.
You know, and
Right.
that's just you can't tell them that they can't eat.
Right,
And
absolutely.
unfortunately, you know, things are tough, and
Things
as
are tough
people
for a lot
do
of
get
us.
down to that point
Right.
where,
Right.
all right, I can't feed the dog twice a day because
Right.
I can't make the. Yeah, there's not
There's
a lot
stuff
of
I know.
options. I mean, I've had people come to me, and it was before I realized that you guys did that pet food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do I know of any? And you know, here I'm Googling. I'm like, all right, well, you're asking me because obviously you're asking me, but you know, you Google it and you try to find it. And I know that even like some churches locally at one point had like some programs. and
Right.
That's always a nice touch too when the churches will do
Well,
that.
the churches will help, and we want to really expand upon that and try to, at some point, have a facility. We've even tossed around the idea of a small storefront, just for that reason.
Yeah.
So we're talking to some of the some local officials. We're in Central Connecticut, to see if we can expand on that. But I know there's some other groups, I think, that do offer a pet food pantry. I don't know if they have food at the moment, but like Friends of Berlin Animal Control, if anybody's watching or wants to look into that, I think FOBAC, or Friends of Berlin Animal Control, tries to collect food and distribute.
Right.
And I think the Hartford ACO was doing that. I don't know, again, don't know if they have what they have on available at the moment, because ours fluctuates. Sometimes we're loaded,
Sure.
sometimes we
Just
run
like,
low.
Just like the
Right.
people food pantry.
Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
I mean,
So I don't
there's,
want to.
good times and bad times everywhere, but
Right, right.
it's really,
Right.
there's got to be no better feeling than knowing that you've kept
Right,
a family together.
From giving.
Exactly.
In essence,
Yep,
because
exactly.
I don't know about, I mean, yeah, we're not here for the wrong reasons, but
Right.
we're all of the same mind that there are
Right.
families.
Absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, we wouldn't all be
I
sitting
can't
here if we didn't
imagine.
feel that way.
It's crazy, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, and then some of the other things we do too, and we've talked about this in the other shows about Hope Clinic, but the Coalition Transport Program is how I started meeting, going to Hope Clinic and meeting the people at Hope Clinic, because our little group was transporting, and not a lot, but we would take at least a couple or a few at a time to Hope Clinic, and that's how I met the people there.
Right.
That's how I ended up getting employed there. But the Coalition Transport Program
Is what opened that door.
which is what opened
Yeah.
as a volunteer, because no one's paid in our group, and most of those of us in the state, other than a couple of the larger groups, the vast majority of us have all volunteers only. And we're actually doing the real work with the animals, and by real work I mean we're actually hands-on touching animals, whether
Right.
it's for
It's not administrative at all.
no, it's trapping.
Mark's like, nope.
Sadly, no, it's not.
It's trapping, and again, I mentioned my good friend at the clinic, Carrie Bartoletti, who's the Hope Clinic manager, but like Friends of Feral Cheshire Cats, they've done, I don't know how many, literally thousands of feral cats in the last few years, and I don't know if it's 2,500 or 3,000 at least, but it's unbelievable with just 2 people have done. It's just Carrie and her partner, Lori.
Right.
So, again, they're not paid, nobody's paid, and nobody knows about these groups. And
they're the silent heroes.
right, that's what I'm saying.
It's
we're not in the public eye, and nobody knows about us,
Right.
but we're doing the real work of transport, trapping, spay, neuter, vaccine, adoption, rescue, all of that.
Yeah, you're not, and it shouldn't be about, look at me, look what I did, pat me on the back. You do what you do.
In fact, we shy away from that.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, I don't, but no, sorry. No, I'm sorry.
It's not a glory hunt.
No.
You're not looking
No,
for
Right.
people to notice you. You just want to do what's right for the animals,
Right.
and that's what it's all about.
it should be. It
Right.
really should be.
And it's amazing, what these small groups have accomplished with just volunteers and really just doing all of this work that is, a lot of the time it's filthy, it's difficult.
Oh, sure.
It's going into areas that are not the best areas, whether you're tramping or helping
not like the
a
night that
horse.
we pulled the puppy from the project.
There you
Not
go.
that.
There you go, Theo, like that.
Yeah.
Like that, exactly. Just like that.
Yeah, not like when we were looking for a lost dog in some of the nether regions of Waterbury. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
it's what the people whose hearts are in it,
Right.
they do without even thinking.
Absolutely.
You get that phone call and you're like, all right, let's run.
Right.
Somebody's in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, I'm not going to mention her name, but, I've got someone who's gone and knocked on doors,
Right. Yep.
and bless her husband, because
Try to help.
he's by her side through it all.
Right.
I mean, he's certainly not going to let her go out like that,
Right,
know,
right.
but it's people who really
Right. Who
love
really care.
the
Right.
animals that buckle down and do these things.
Well, just like these 2 posters here behind us, like we talked about, because it's a member of their family. I know if one of
Oh,
mine
yeah.
was missing, I'd be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And Andy actually had tracking dogs from Nebraska this week.
Oh my
Really?
goodness.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
They had an online auction, and
my
they brought
God.
in
Oh my God, Theo, that's unbelievable.
a track. She's like 5 dogs or something, and they literally, they smell a leash,
Yeah.
and they go and they tracked him through the woods, one side of the Merritt Parkway to the other side of the Merritt Parkway.
Did they find him?
They didn't find him, but it was recent scent, and
Meaning he's
proving he's
probably still
alive.
alive.
Yeah,
Oh
proving
my
he's alive.
goodness.
And the woman
That's
was actually
amazing.
kind enough to go spend some time with Ozzy's family.
Wow.
There were no real recent sightings. There was, spotty on
Yeah.
his end.
Yes.
But she was able to teach Ozzy's mom some of the signs she'd want to look for,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually, I was reading again on Facebook how they walked the woods and they saw remains of other animals, but not him.
That's wonderful.
You know, because they would find the collars.
Right.
You know, because
That's
they certainly wouldn't eat the collars.
Right. The collars.
So there was a lot of learning on both of those fronts, and you know, these people are
unbelievable.
Are you know, you're getting like all goofy like me, right? I can see it. I can hear it in your voice. I mean, I get all emotional over it.
I know. Well, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Come on, boom booms. But yeah,
So you are hoping to do another spay and neuter clinic?
Yes, actually we are. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I was forgetting. But my whole crazy story about doing the Coalition Transport Program, which is how I ended up getting employed at Hope Clinic, which is in Waterbury. And I was there, I guess, a year ago. I went there as an employee. Began a year ago in March of 2011. So it became extremely clear while I was there. Come on, boom booms. It became extremely clear that
Daddy.
He loves it so much. What are you doing? Oh, what a good boy. Oh, we neutered him.
I was just going to say he's showing.
You guys want to see what a great job Hope Clinic does right there.
Oh, Boomer, tell him that you're not shy. You're not.
I'll show you my incision.
He looks great, by the way.
Is that like, hey baby, want to come up to my apartment and see my incision?
Well, whatever he showed wasn't very impressive.
You got to get groomed first. You got to fix that up a little bit. But anyways,
yeah, Mark doesn't want him to stop shedding, and he gets to keep them.
Right.
That's awful. Look at him, he's too cute.
Good boy.
Good boy. But yes, I'm sorry. We get a little off track with Boom Boom. But so a year ago, when I started working there, it became really, really clear how the state really desperately could use another spay-neuter clinic. And we thought, you know, because Hope Clinic is the only full-time stationary, meaning it's not mobile like the team van. So Hope Clinic is the only stationary spay-neuter clinic full-time in the state. So a year ago, shortly after getting there, the coalition, we had discussions with our executive board and some of our volunteers about it, and we decided to start sort of a serious feasibility study about what the state could support. So Hope Clinic is part of the Humane Alliance, which is a network of 85 spay-neuter clinics nationwide, and they're wonderful. And I started communications a year ago about that type of thing, specifically looking at Hartford County, since Hope is in Waterbury.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that ask me where they can go, where there are low cost clinic.
Exactly, low cost spay-neuter clinic. So again, as you know, Hope is in Waterbury.
A lot of people are farther away.
That's right. And Hope tends to service obviously the greater Waterbury area, but a lot of the calls and appointments are coming from the southwestern quadrant of the state. So it's sort of left like the whole eastern half. And again, being from New Britain, and most of my partners in crime are from Hartford County. So we started looking into...
He's off camera. Nobody knows what he's doing.
He's causing a ruckus over here. But we started looking into basically we did a study, we did a demographic and population study of all cities and towns in Hartford County. So we wanted to look at the population, if another low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic could be supported. And we came up with basically Hartford, East Hartford, and Manchester.
I think that's a perfect location, just from the information that I have. I think that's wonderful.
And again, this began a year ago in earnest. So we were looking at something in Hartford County, and again, our target towns at that time were Hartford, East Hartford, and Manchester. Being from New Britain, a couple things are going on now in my city, which may change it as far as our focus, but we do feel the state needs another low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic, probably more than two, but anyways, and it would be
for a start, that'd be great.
Right, and it would be an animal resource center with like a dog training room and programs like trap, neuter, and return, humane education, and a transport vehicle. So that's basically it. But
temporary shelter, if the need be, to house an animal temporarily while they're transitioning somewhere.
Right. We wouldn't want a long-term holding facility, but something like, when someone's like, I just got evicted and know what they didn't plan for it, and we wouldn't want something to stay there long-term, but just to temporarily as we find another place for it to go, which I think the state could use. I think Mark's idea was a few of them throughout the state, like a short-term holding
Yeah,
facility.
that would work out really well, because a lot of
For
times
Waterbury too, right?
you need a couple of days
You need a couple
to
of days,
find a
at
place
least.
for a dog to go. You
Right,
can't
we
always
can't do
just
it
get that person.
when your own house is packed, right?
Yeah.
So you can't always
Hello.
bring everything home, even though we want to.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're excited about that. We're looking into that, and hopefully we'll be back with you know, more information about that soon.
Yeah, I would love to have you back when you've got some
You
more
know
information.
we will do it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm so surprised. Anyway, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to both of you.
Thank you, Theo.
And thank you to Boomer, who is outside having a little...
He's having a smoke break.
Yeah, he's having a well, he just had a pause for the cause. I don't know how productive it was, but very productive.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought he might have to go.
Yeah, I had that sense too. Gee, yes.
Daddy knows.
It wasn't any one of us.
The audience can't smell, but we
Yeah,
knew what
we
was going
could,
on.
yeah. we knew exactly why he got fidgety. Oh, but anyway, we are going, the studio is going to be closing down for a couple of weeks for renovations and upgrades to the equipment here in the studio. And the next time that this show will be back will be March 25th. And so we are going to roll the credits in a moment. But in the meantime, I think that this is Mark's big chance, because you've done it before.
Oh my.
You do it.
Oh, you've got to do it with us.
Yeah, you got to do it. You.
Oh, okay.
We can just take the leash and go like this. And
You're such
we'll
a seasoned
say,
vet.
ready?
I'm ready.
Peace,
Love,
and
and
dogs.
dogs.
And now we're going to have a brand new little thing. We're going to roll our credits.
Thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on March 25th. When we come back, we'll be on Saturday nights at 7. And there's the credits. There we go. Doesn't that look so
Roll
nice?
'em,
That looks awesome.
roll 'em.
So official. Yes, thank you to Speedo. Good job, good job.
The crew is
Awesome.
awesome here. Awesome.
I waited a
crew.
lifetime to say roll the credits.
Your lifetime is over.
Rivers and crystal clear springs, manatees face possible extinction from the loss of habitat or death from collisions with boats. We can make sure these gentle giants are here for generations by protecting areas where